thank you very much for that very kind and very generous introduction. And I also want to thank all the candidates who are here that's running for the first time, and those who are running for re-election, for your willingness to put yourselves out there on the line. Having served part-time in the Maine legislature for 22 years in the House of Representatives and then in the state Senate, I know it's a lot of work, a lot of effort, but it also can be very rewarding as well. I know over the last 3 years, those who are currently serving has had a little more difficult time with the chief executives, and hopefully we'll be able to change that after this election cycle. So. And the family members for those who are running, I want to thank you as well for your willingness to help out your loved ones get elected, because that's something that is a family affair, and I want to thank you for your willingness to help. And it takes a lot of work, a lot of effort, but it's definitely worthwhile. And as you talked about the governor being in York County, well, I just got off the plane and I figured no better place to be than in York County this evening. But before I begin my remarks, since we are at the VFW facility, I want to thank all the veterans who are here and your family members for your service for this great nation of ours. You made the United States of America what it is today, your willingness to serve this great country of ours. So I want to thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for what you have done and are doing for this country. Actually, this week we heard, I know my campaign manager probably said, well, you gotta get off those federal issues, but this week we actually had the VA's budget before our committee. And I can say that actually the VA budget is one of the few departments that the president has actually increased the funding dramatically in the VA funding, and homelessness is among one of the accounts that we've increased quite a bit on VA funding. So we're going to hopefully get the president's budget to him very quickly so that we can get the veterans and their family the services that they need. But there is also in a relationship, as you well know, it was a very difficult decision for me to decide to run for governor, because I do love my job, particularly on Veterans Affairs. But as governor, you can do a lot for veterans as well, whether it's help addressing some of the homeless issues that we're currently facing within the VA, but also on the state veterans home. One of the areas we're going to try to bump up in the VA budget is actually state veterans homes. There's over almost $500 million nationwide. State veterans homes has waiting for the VA to actually provide their funding so that we can take care of our veterans in state veterans home, because you actually can save about 2/3 of the funding by providing that long-term health care needs within state veterans homes. And we have 6 here in the state of Maine. They do an excellent job, and we got to do whatever we can to provide our veterans that long-term care, and the state does have a role to play in that regard. So I will continue to keep fighting for our veterans as governor, because we can do a lot more for our veterans as governor here, and I look forward to working with the legislators here should I get elected as governor to deal with the veterans issues. And speaking about the governor being, as I mentioned, he was here today in York County, and actually I heard the governor made a comment about it was sinful to expand Medicaid for the 70,000 Mainers who need that health care. Well, I don't think it's sinful for this governor, quite frankly, not to expand access to health care. Not only because it's the morally right thing to do, that we cover 70,000 Mainers who need health care, of which 3,000 are veterans, but it's the fiscally responsible thing to do as well. Maine will save over $600 million over a 10-year time frame by expanding access for the 70,000 Mainers that need that health care. Plus, hospitals will receive an additional $348 million over that same time frame. So it's a win-win all the way around. And I know the state Senate passed a bipartisan bill to increase access, and the House will have to deal with it as well. Hopefully they'll be able to override the veto. I know it's going to be an uphill battle, but I can assure each and every one of you here today that should the legislation not be able to get that veto overridden, on day one, I'll be submitting legislation to the legislature that will expand access to health care for the 70,000 Mainers who need it. I also was talking about maybe the governor needs some education of how important that is. And speaking about education, also talking to some of you folks earlier this evening, education, I always viewed education as an investment in our future. If we are going to grow our economy here in the state of Maine, we have to make sure that we have the youngsters staying here, people who moved away come back, but we can't do it without having an educated workforce. And as a state, we have to do more with educating our workforce. Just last night, I actually had dinner with some of my colleagues in Washington with Bill Gates, and he was talking about education and healthcare and how important it is as a country, if we're going to compete around the world, that we do have that investment made in education. And I hear quite often about it because my sister actually is a school teacher. She teaches at York High School, so when the governor does something with the A through F grades or cut education funding, I hear it firsthand from my sister. So, but I want to thank those of you who are here that are in education or on the school board, because you are doing yeoman's work. And we have to make sure that we put teachers back to what they love to do, is teaching. Not teaching to grades, but get back teaching to teaching the youngsters here. So I want to thank all the educators who are here today as well for all the work that you do. And in closing, I do want to say that I'm very excited about this campaign, because no matter where I go, from Aroostook County to York County to Washington County, Piscataquis County, the enthusiasm is just amazing. And it's not only among Democrats and independents, but it's also among Republicans who are very excited about having a change in Augusta, because they are concerned where this governor is leading their party. And so it is a big concern. And the fact that we are picking up momentum, we just had a poll that came out, our numbers are constantly going up. In the first district, the independent candidates' numbers are going down. Unfortunately, the governor is pretty much about the same, but we haven't even started focusing on some of his groups, which we will be targeting, primarily veterans. Of all the work that we've been able to do over the veterans over a number of years, we're going to go after some of the governor's support in the veterans community. As a matter of fact, Tony Principi, who was a former Secretary of the Department of Veterans Affairs, and some of you probably remember Tony, he also was chair of the BRAC Commission when he established the gold standard for the shipyard down here. And actually was there during George Bush secretary, and he's willing to come to the state of Maine and actually campaign for me here in Maine to veterans and let them know how important it is to elect me as governor for the state of Maine. So we do have that momentum, but we can't do it without your help. I need each and every one of you to really get out there, to get your family, your friends motivated, not only financial, that's great, but we need people on the ground. If our numbers are going to constantly going up, and as I tell my campaign manager all the time, the only poll that I want to see us winning, that poll is going to be on election day, but we need your help to do that. As some of you talked to me earlier about our plan, you can go on our website. We have an economic development plan. We'll be rolling out our healthcare plan and other ways where we can actually have a stable budget cycle, so no governor will be able to do what this governor has done over the last 3 years to bring stability to the process, not only for the state government, but also for county government and municipal government as well. That's something that has been lacking over the last 3 years in Augusta with our chief executive. But I need your help. I'm asking for your vote. I'm asking for you to get out there and really work hard, not only for myself, but also for the legislators that are here, so we can maintain our majority in both the House and the Senate, so we can move forward, put the state back on the right track, so we can grow our economy here in Maine, so we can have a governor that Mainers can be proud of once again, saying you're from the state of Maine, regardless of where you go around the country or around the world. So once again, I want to thank you very much for the York County Democrats for all that you have been doing and are doing, and hopefully will continue to do between now and 8 o'clock on election night this November. Once again, thank you very much, and God bless.